Junior Dos Santos and Stipe Miocic engaged in a 25-minute Balboa Drago-like slugfest in Phoenix. Welcome into MMA Live Extra. I'm Kerry Chow. Junior Dos Santos won the fight by unanimous decision. To discuss further, we bring in ESPN MMA writer Brett Okamoto from Las Vegas. Brett, your cage side, is slugfest an understatement?
Yeah, slugfest might be an understatement for what happened in Phoenix on Saturday. You know, sometimes you get these kind of fights. You get a stand-up fight where somehow both guys refuse to go down. It's not every day, though, you get it in the heavyweight division. When you see it in the heavyweight division, it just makes it that much crazier. Like you said, I was there. I saw the punches landed. These were not just small shots. These were two big guys putting everything they had into these punches. There was only one knockdown in this fight. Stipe Miocic went down in the third round. He popped right back up. It's just one of those fights where it's hard to believe your own eyeballs sometimes that these two guys are still standing after all that.
No one's exactly clamoring to see Kane JDS 4 right now. So where would you like to see each fighter go from here?
Man, I would like to see these two guys go to their living room couches, you know, go to a spa for a couple weeks. Yeah, you sit in a hot tub for a while, heal up. You know, you pay for this kind of a fight. I think both these guys are going to have a little bit of a recovery time. I asked Dos Santos, though, did he feel like he was injured coming out of that fight? Of course he was beat up, but did he think he had anything going on that would take an extended time off? He said no, he felt relatively good. But I would like to see him take some time. I know that financially you got to jump back in the cage at some point, you know, to provide for your family. But like you mentioned, this guy is right there in terms of a fight with Cain Velasquez. But there's not a lot of hype behind it. Not a lot of people are interested in it quite yet. But he's right there. I think one more fight, and you're talking about Junior Dos Santos fighting Cain Velasquez a fourth time. And when that happens, he's going to need to be ready. He's going to need to be prepared because that's going to be the last shot he gets against Velasquez. And from what I saw Saturday, he's not there yet. So I would like to see Dos Santos heal up, get in the gym, and work on some small things of his game, fine-tune, because eventually I do think he's going to get in that position. I'd like to see him more prepared than he was the second and third times he fought Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, spa might be the right medicine right there. Also on the card, Rafael dos Anjos won a lopsided decision over Nate Diaz. Diaz missed weight badly, didn't look good in the fight. Can he bounce back from this?
You know what? I don't think anybody really knows the answer to that. I think, you know, you look at Nate Diaz and it's about his mindset. It's not about his skill set. You know, talent-wise, we know this guy is a top 10 lightweight, but does he want to get back in there and compete? You know, look, Nate Diaz is disgruntled about his contract, and we can have a long discussion over that topic in itself, but at the end of the day, that is the contract that he has. The UFC is not going to renegotiate his contract coming off of a performance like the one he had on Saturday. So he's got one of two options. He can either embrace that and say, you know what, I'm in a situation that I don't love, but, you know, I got to come in and I got to be motivated. I got to win fights. Or maybe he's just so unhappy that that's not a reality for him. It's not a possibility. He doesn't want to get in the gym and train for the amount of money he's making. And if that's the case, you know, he's going to have to find some kind of other avenue, because I don't want to see Nate Diaz compete like he did on Saturday night. That was not fun for me. I don't think it was fun for a lot of people who have seen Nate Diaz compete in the past. The way he looked on Saturday, it just didn't look right.
I like that, keeping it real right there, Brett. UFC President Dana White said Dos Anjos is next in line for a shot at Anthony Pettis' title. What sort of challenge does Dos Anjos pose to the champ?
Well, I think he poses a different challenge than we've seen in Anthony Pettis in these two title fights. You look at the title fights against Ben Henderson, you look at against Gilbert Melendez, those two guys came in with a game plan of smothering, you know, get him up against the fence and just wear him down, and clearly that did not work. It did not work for Ben. It did not work for Gilbert. Pettis ran away with those fights. So I think Dos Anjos is going to meet Pettis a little bit more on his own terms. It's going to be more of a free-flowing fight. Dos Anjos is not a guy who's just going to try and wrestle him the whole time. Now, how will that work out for him? We'll have to wait and see. I will say the one thing Dos Anjos has going for him is that he is an athlete. I think a lot of times people forget how athletic this guy is, and I've been saying it after all of his fights. He's got speed. He's got explosiveness. He's got a lot of confidence in his hands right now. You know, can he beat Pettis in a stand-up fight? Probably not, if you had to ask me one way or the other, but I think he's got at least the tools to make it an exciting matchup against Pettis, and we'll see how he does.
ESPN MMA writer Brett Okamoto, thanks for the insight as always. That's going to do it for this edition of MMA Live Extra. For Brett Okamoto, I'm Kerry Chow. Thanks for watching.